The banners of the My Order fluttered in the crisp morning wind as I surveyed the battlefield near the Dvina River. My name is Ulrich Schwarzadler, a young knight eager to carve my name into the annals of the Order's history. This would be my first command in a battle of this scale. The Lithuanians had been fighting a defensive war for years, parrying the Order's advance with guerrilla tactics and fast-moving cavalry. This battlefield, near the Dvina River, was their last major stand. If we broke them here, the Order would solidify its control over the Baltic. My formation is designed to counter the Lithuanians' reliance on mobility and flanking tactics. By anchoring the center with heavy infantry, I ensure that their cavalry cannot easily penetrate. The true battle will be decided on the flanks. If my knights can crush their cavalry, we'll have free rein to charge into their vulnerable infantry center. As I scanned the enemy lines, my eyes locked onto a vulnerability. Their light cavalry stationed far to their right, isolated from their main force. It was a daring opportunity. My knights lowered their lances and began to move. This strike, if successful, would cripple the enemy's mobility and leave their center vulnerable to our next attack. As my Teutonic knights thundered toward the enemy's right flank, I remained behind my infantry center. I rode slowly along the line of dismounted knights and heavy spearmen, their shields locked and spears poised. The strategic view allowed me to oversee the battlefield at a glance, making it easier to adjust my troops' formations and issue precise orders. The Teutonic knights stationed on my right flank were ordered to engage the Lithuanian cavalry on the enemy's left flank. My objective is to neutralize the Lithuanian cavalry, securing my right flank and preventing any encirclement of my infantry center. As my center began to march forward, the sound of shields locking into place echoed across the field. I rode slowly behind them, my eyes scanning for any signs of weakness in the enemy line. As my Teutonic knights on the right flank thundered toward the enemy's cavalry, I remained behind the advancing center. From my elevated position on horseback, I could see the battlefield unfold. The dismounted knights and heavy spearmen moved forward in disciplined rows, their shields locked and their spears ready. As my infantry center surged forward to engage the enemy's defensive line, I turned my steed toward the right flank, where the clash of steel and thunder of hooves echoed across the battlefield. My bodyguards, clad in heavy plate and mounted on war horses, flanked me like an iron tide as we rode to join the fight. As I arrived on the right flank, taking my first kill on one of the Lithuanian knights, the clash of battle was already tipping in our favor. As the Lithuanian cavalry on the right flank crumbled and fled, I reined in my horse, signaling my knights to halt their pursuit. The right flank was ours, but the battle was not yet over. The enemy's ranged units, stationed behind their infantry center, will be our next target. Ahead, the enemy archers and skirmishers, realizing the danger, began to panic. Some turned to flee, while others loosed desperate volleys in a futile attempt to slow us down. We charged in, scattering them like leaves, ordered the knights to split into smaller groups, chasing down any remaining skirmishers and ensuring the rear was completely cleared. As the chaos of battle subsided and the enemy's infantry center remained pinned in place, the time had come to reorganize my forces. The enemy's flanks and rear had been destroyed, leaving their core isolated. But victory required precision. A poorly coordinated attack could lead to unnecessary losses or give the Lithuanians an opportunity to regroup. The Lithuanian infantry center, though battered and isolated, stood defiant. This is a textbook encirclement. By pinning the enemy with my infantry and using my cavalry to strike from multiple directions, I ensure their complete destruction. Timing and coordination are critical. The battlefield trembled as the center formations clashed, the sounds of steel on steel echoing across the field. My dismounted knights and heavy spearmen locked shields and pressed forward. My Teutonic knights, victorious from their earlier charges, were scattered but eager to strike again. The time had come to reorganize and unleash them in a coordinated flanking maneuver to collapse the enemy center entirely. I called for reinforcements from my infantry reserves. Riding to the rear of the line, I bellowed orders to a contingent of reserve heavy spearmen and dismounted knights to bolster the center. Once the reserves moved into position, I turned my attention to the enemy's left flank, where an opportunity awaited. Leading my bodyguards, I spurred my horse toward the exposed flank. My blade struck true, cutting through the bannerman's defenses and sending him crumpling to the ground. His banner fell, trampled beneath my warhorse. The death of their bannerman caused visible panic among the Lithuanian infantry, who began to waver. As the Lithuanian infantry center collapsed, the remnants of their ranged units, who had once rained arrows upon us, stood vulnerable at the rear. These archers and skirmishers, though lightly armored, remained a threat if allowed to regroup. Now was the time for total annihilation. This all-out assault ensures total victory. With no formation left to protect them, the enemy ranged units are completely exposed. The combination of advancing infantry and charging cavalry will leave no survivors, securing the battlefield and ensuring the Lithuanian army's complete destruction. As the dust settled on the battlefield of the Dvina, my thoughts turned to the future. The Lithuanian army was annihilated, their banners trampled, and their warriors slain. With no force left to oppose us, the road to the Lithuanian capital of Polotsk lay open. As the mighty walls of Polotsk loomed before us, the clatter of siege preparations echoed across the battlefield. My engineers and smiths toiled day and night to assemble the ultimate tools of destruction. Trebuchets, the most reliable and destructive siege engines in our arsenal. With their long range, durability, and sheer power, these machines would tear down Polotsk's walls and crush their defenders' hopes. We will utilize special siege tactic here, reserving trebuchets and deploying them all at once to maximize firepower. Trebuchets have high HP, but can still be destroyed by enemy onagers if deployed one at a time. Bringing all 4 trebuchets online simultaneously overwhelms enemy defenses, quickly destroying walls and enemy siege engines. Reserving them until all are built avoids them being destroyed. The siege of Polotsk had dragged on for weeks, but now the walls were breached, and the defenders, weakened by starvation, were ripe for defeat. My trebuchets had done their work, reducing the once proud fortifications to rubble. The time had come to storm the city and bring it under the banner of the Teutonic Order. The infantry surged forward as they charged toward the cracked walls. Lithuanian archers rained arrows down from the battlements, but the combined cover of their shields and the constant bombardment from the trebuchets disrupted the defenders' aim. Warriors! Turning to my reserve regiment of dismounted knights, I ordered them to support the assault, join their comrades and take the walls. At the same time, taking my bodyguards with me, I moved toward the walls to personally oversee the final phase of the attack. Raising my sword, I called out to my brothers-in-arms into battle. The time for command from afar was over. The breaches were ours, and the defenders were falling back into the streets of Polotsk. This was the moment to lead by example, to fight alongside my brothers and ensure victory with my own blade. With my bodyguards at my side, I stepped through the shattered wall, joining my soldiers in the narrow streets of the city. This is a critical moment. By fighting alongside my soldiers, I boost their morale and ensure cohesion during the transition from the breach to the chaotic urban combat of the city streets. Amid the chaos of the assault, I felt the need to gain a better vantage point and seek out opportunities to strike fear into the hearts of the remaining Lithuanian defenders. With my Zweihander in hand, I climbed one of the captured towers that overlooked the city streets. Reaching the rooftop, I swung my Zweihander in a wide arc, the blade cleaving through an archer who didn't have time to block it. After 2 failed swings, I finally killed the poor archer and claimed the tower for the Order. From the captured tower, I watched the final moments of the battle unfold. My knights, relentless in their pursuit, had stormed the remaining defenses and cleared the tower ahead. As the dust settled and the cries of battle began to fade, I saw one of my brothers raise the banner of the Teutonic Order high above the city. It was a sight that spoke of triumph, a symbol of the Order's dominance and the end of Lithuania's resistance in Polotsk. At that moment, I knew the city was ours. With Polotsk firmly under my control, I turned my attention to the troops who had fought so valiantly in the siege, allowed them to pillage the city for a limited time to reward them for their efforts. Victory was theirs, and to deny them their spoils would risk dissent among the ranks. At the same time, I ordered that prisoners of war be gathered and placed in the city dungeon, their strength to be used for the rebuilding of Polotsk. Improving city loyalty is a critical part of managing your settlements in Bannerlord, especially after conquering a city like Polotsk, where the population may still harbor resentment. Using festivals and games is one of the most effective ways to increase loyalty while stabilizing the city. This will direct resources and effort toward organizing public entertainment, improving loyalty steadily over time. Festivals and games add a +3 loyalty per day. With plans to march north into the Baltic territories, I turned my focus to ensuring Polotsk's stability during my absence. The city's fortifications still bore the scars of the siege, and its people were adjusting to their new rulers. A strong garrison was essential, not only to defend against potential counterattacks, but to maintain order among the populace. With my army rested and reinforced, the time had come to turn my gaze northward, toward the untamed Baltic territories. These lands, held by Lithuanian forces, represented the final obstacle to the Teutonic Order's dominion over the region. With Pisgau standing as a key strategic stronghold in the south, and Narva Castle guarding the northern frontier, it was clear that both must fall to the Order. To achieve this, I entrusted my most loyal knights, Gundlach, Fredebold, Kraft, Alfgrim, and Eilburn, to lead a simultaneous siege of Narva Castle, while I personally took command of the assault on Pisgau. The AI Party Manager is a powerful tool in Bannerlord for delegating commands and coordinating your companion-led parties efficiently. You can use it to issue orders, like sieging Narva Castle, to your companion knights, and apply those orders to other parties in your clan. The walls of Skau rose before me, a testament to Lithuanian resilience. Yet, even the mightiest fortifications could not withstand the precision of my trebuchets and the discipline of my army. I will start building 4 trebuchets as soon as possible, and won't deploy them until all are completed. Once all 4 trebuchets are completed, I will deploy them simultaneously. As my siege of Skau progressed, a messenger arrived at the camp bearing urgent news. My loyal knights, Gundlach, Fredebold, Kraft, Alfgrim, and Eilburn, had captured Narva Castle in a swift and decisive assault. To secure newly conquered territories, to consolidate control and prevent uprisings or enemy incursions, I ordered the remaining knights to patrol key regions around Narva and Polotsk, ensuring the safety of villages, caravans, and supply lines. As the walls of Skau crumbled under the relentless assault of my trebuchets, I weighed the situation carefully. There was no need for me to risk my life leading the charge personally. This was a task my well-trained troops could handle with ease. With the fall of Narva Castle and Skau, the last vestiges of Lithuanian resistance were extinguished. No army remained to contest our dominion. The Baltic was ours, united under the cross of the Teutonic Order. These lands must be secured, their people brought into the fold. Let us ensure that our rule is as enduring as our victory. The improved Garrisons mod is a powerful tool that enhances your ability to manage your cities and castles efficiently. It simplifies settlement management by giving you greater control over building projects, garrison organization, and overall development. It allows you to queue multiple buildings or projects in cities and castles, enables you to activate festival and games, irrigation, and other projects easily. Festivals and games provide an immediate and effective boost to counteract unrest. Begin the games. Let the people see the prosperity that follows our banners. As they cheer, let their loyalty to the Order take root. Only once their hearts are steady shall we fortify these lands for the ages to come. With the loyalty of Polotsk, Piskau, and Narva Castle secure, the time had come to transform these lands into the economic engine. To increase food storage capacity and ensure the population and garrison are well fed, I will build granary in Polotsk. In Pskau and Narva Castle, I will oversee the construction of tax offices to ensure the Order's coffers would soon overflow. The stronger these lands, the larger the army we can raise to expand our dominion. With our Baltic territories secure and our economy flourishing, the time has come to decide the next step in the Teutonic Order's conquest. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I want you to decide where we march next. Let me know in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to support the channel. Goodbye.